All right. So, hi Neelam, hi Seema, and
Hi,
welcome.
Ashwin. Yes, a very good evening to both of you from Delhi. It's actually
Yes,
very hot here.
it's very hot in Mumbai too.
Yeah. It's like 42 degrees. Yeah, Mumbai is never 42
नहीं,
degrees.
मुंबई नहीं होगा कभी. Mumbai is very humid, and I think still it's better than I'm sure a lot of places. So, but anyway, I'm so excited today to read this book once again. You know, Neelam and Seema, I've fallen in love with this book. The way he's put up things, what I liked about this book, he breaks up all those concepts which we used to think are motivation. Okay,
Yeah.
so जैसे learn from mistakes, break कर दिया.
Yeah.
Now today he,
Don't think too much about failures. Planning is
yeah,
useless.
yeah.
Everything,
So
every
very
myth was
practical,
broken.
on the spot instruction, on the spot guide, and just awesome. So today, let us read the second part of the book, which says second chapter, which says go. Okay.
Go.
So for everyone who's here, for Seema, for Neelam, and also for the people who will watch this later as a recorded video on our YouTube channel and all of that. All I can say is what we are reading today is a part of the book Rework. We are continuing. Rework is the book of the month for April, and
Yes.
and we're just loving it. We are loving it totally. So it's so much fun. So Neelam, do
Absolutely.
you want to start, or should I? What should we do?
I can start as well. I mean, as you rightly said, that it's a beautiful book. It breaks your myths about, about success or getting into things when, you start a new venture.
Yeah,
And still, it simplifies everything. It
yeah,
simplifies everything. So
yeah.
it's not a very complicated, conceptualized book. So you are getting to know new concepts. It's not like that. It doesn't tell you theories. It's a very practical book. So
Yeah,
you can just follow, read through it, and you can say, wow, this was something which I already knew, but I never
already knew.
thought it exists. So the second chapter is Go. It talks about various segments. So basically, when we start the book, second chapter especially, the first line says that, you have to make a dent in the universe. So it was quite interesting. And from my perspective, making a dent in the universe is, you need to make your presence felt. You need to, go there and tell everyone that yes, you are there, you are different, you are innovative, and you have ideas. So this is what I understand your perspective, Ash.
Absolutely, making a dent in the universe. I think we read about this also in the first book, Vishen Lakhiani's beautiful book, The
Yes.
Code of an Extraordinary Mind, where he talks about making a dent in the
Yeah.
universe, where he says that change the landscape and make your mark. So exactly like this, make your mark. Tell everyone I'm here. Do something
Yes.
which will make people aware of your presence and of your uniqueness. That is how he has put it. And also when he speaks about this particular chapter, he says if you're going to do something that matters. These little guys came out of nowhere. He's giving the example of the Craigslist and the Drudge report. And then he says these guys came out of nowhere, destroyed old models that had been run for decades. You can do the same in your industry. And I think that's such a powerful way to put it out. And shall we move to the next one, because we have to
Absolutely.
cover a lot today? So the second one is
Yes, yes.
scratch your own
Second,
itch.
scratch your own itch. So it makes you, smile as well, because the sentence is so, I mean, it's
Funny.
little bit funny, but it's actually very serious. So I'm reading through the book only. So it says, when you build a product or a service, you make the call on hundreds of tiny decisions each day, right? If you are solving someone else's problem, you are constantly stabbing in the dark. When you solve your own problem, the light comes on. You know exactly what the right answer is. So do your own thing. Don't go the way others tell you to go.
Correct, correct. And I think we are already applying it to Unicorn Insight, when the reason why it was born was because we wanted to scratch our own itches. We wanted to stay positive. We wanted to have the powerful tools and all of that. So I think this point I can totally resonate with my mind and with whatever. So yes, he says that design something because you want the solution to it, because in that way you will
Yes,
go for making something which will uh, leave an impact on the world. So whether it is Uber cabs, or
yes,
whether it is Airbnb, or whether it is Swiggy, all these businesses were born because someone had a niche, and the businessman probably had a niche, the entrepreneur had a niche, and they decided to scratch it. So very, very beautifully said.
absolutely. Even Amazon and Zoom were
Yes,
created because of that only, right?
absolutely, absolutely.
If somebody would not have think of an online meeting, Zoom would not have been created.
Would not have been created. And what would be doing without Zoom? Delhi and Mumbai and
Yeah.
all over the world. So yes, that was the
Yes.
second sub chapter. The third one states, it says with start, and it says
Start.
start making something. Yeah, start making something. Okay. So I believe that most of us get divine ideas, but how many of us take action on it? And that's what
Mm.
matters. So when I talk to people who are newly into, someone is newly started a spiritual business, or newly started teaching something or doing something, the only advice I tell them is do it. Because if you're going to
Okay.
wait all your life, it's never going to be perfect. How about doing it? And when I look back at my videos of
Yeah.
2016, I see that okay, I know I'm doing so much better now, but at least I started then. And that's what it is all
Yes.
about. Let's start. Just
Yes.
start.
You need to make those tiny steps if you want to,
Yes.
cover a leap. So it's not that okay, someday some power will come into us and then we will, start jumping like that. It's not the case. We need to take small steps.
We need to take action, and that is very important. The book The Secret says that universe likes speed. Take that action. Don't sit on it. So
Absolutely, absolutely. And this is so well resonate with the next point, which says no time is no excuse. Don't say that you don't have time.
actually everyone has
I
time.
remember your advice. I remember your advice, Ash. You
Okay, I don't
said,
remember.
Neelam, start writing something, at least two
Yes,
lines, write something. Neelam, if you want to teach, at least teach some kids in your colony, but do that. Don't wait for a time to come. And when I teach children, I feel so much of happiness and peace.
that's your
And when I
purpose.
read book or when I write something, it gives me so much of peace. So it's all because of you, because you told me, okay, start with 5 minutes
And that is
job.
from my own
Don't make
experience,
any excuse.
Neelam, that is from my own experience, because I believe that we want to do so many things, even when we talk about exercise, diet, getting in shape. Um, there is always, we always have time. No time is no excuse. Many people tell me I don't have time, and I say it's not that. Change your sentence to that is not my priority. Then they say ऐसे नहीं है. मैंने बोला ऑफ कोर्स आपके पास टाइम है. इफ यू हैव टाइम टू वॉच टेलीविजन फॉर 2 hours, if you have time to binge watch, you definitely have the time. So most common excuse people give is not there is not enough time. They say that I would love to start a company or make an innovation or write a book, but there aren't enough hours in a day. And I always say
Yeah.
आपको टाइम निकालना पड़ता है. And instead of playing mindless games, watching television, just do it for every day for 1 hour. I know people, and they call this concept as moonlighting, which I don't know where I've read about it. Moonlighting is doing a job during the day to make sure that your bills are paid, and once you come back home, you have early dinner and whatever, and then you go with your side hustle. You hustle till the time your money doesn't cover up the costs, and then you start that side hustle and convert it into full. The reason it is called as moonlighting is because they are making sure that they're working in the moonlight. So I think that's a beautiful concept of moonlighting. Am I audible? I think my screen is frozen.
Yes, yes, Ashwin.
I'm audible. I think Neelam's screen has frozen.
Yeah, you're audible.
I think Neelam's screen got frozen. Okay, so till the time she joins back, I'm going to thank you, Seema. Till the time Neelam comes back, I'm going to just go with the next chapter, which is Draw a Line in the Sand. The title is very beautiful, and the title says that, okay, Neelam is back. The title says that as you get going, keep in mind why you are doing what you are doing.
I'm so sorry.
No problem, no
I
problem. Technology
So
is.
sorry, I could not hear the last point that we were discussing. So we can move with the next
We'll move to
point,
the next
Ash.
one. The next point is draw a line in the sand, which means he says that
Hmm.
look at the why. Look at the why. Wow. So,
Hmm.
and this is, I think, Simon Sinek. I don't know if I'm pronouncing his name right. Please excuse me if I'm not. But he's written some beautiful books. Maybe we can take one of his books as the next book. He actually uses this term as the power of why. He says that ask why you're doing what you're doing. And this is exactly great businesses have a point of view, not just a product or service. You already need to have a vision. You need to know why you're doing this. And you have to believe in
Yeah.
something bigger, something greater, which is as a backbone. So he also says that I like this particular paragraph. Strong opinions aren't free. You will turn some people off. They'll accuse you of being arrogant, of being aloof. That's life. For everyone who loves you, there will be others who hate you. If no one is upset by what you are saying, you're probably not pushing hard enough. I think which is a very big line because as we grow, we do attract criticism. So here he says that just let it be. If you're focused on why you're doing what you're doing, you can create anything. When you don't know what you believe, everything becomes an argument. Everything is debatable. But when you stand for something, decisions are obvious. So he says that stand up for yourself, know your whys, and go with it. Isn't that amazing? And your thoughts on it probably.
I mean, I can't agree more on that, Ash. It's so beautiful. And yes, it's very beautiful put in there as well. So yes, I agree with that. Every word of it. Next is live it or leave it.
Live it or
So
leave it.
so
Yes.
what do you think about it?
Okay, so you know what? There is very beautifully put is
Because I have your example for that. You live unicorn inside in you. That I wanted to, I wanted you to comment on that.
okay. So here they says that when you stand for something and you are providing your best services, okay, make sure you are living it 100%, which means you are just living that vision. You are the, like I would say, chalta firta brand ambassador of the brand which you are working with. And if you're not going to do that, you are you have to leave it, which means do it wholeheartedly or leave it. You know, you have to live that concept, live that vision, live that mission every moment, every second, every moment of the day. So we call it you
Yes,
become the energy. You become the energy.
yes, absolutely, Ash, and I see that energy in you. When we talk about unicorn inside, our future plans, what next,
Yes.
everything is in your heart, and the vision that that we get from you, it's amazing, it's amazing. So this is something which I learned from you, Ash.
And Neelam, I have learned from so many people who are doing that. I know there are so many people in the world whom I so look up to. We people who are exceptionally doing well and they are living that. And that's what inspires me and that's what keeps me, totally hooked on it. And yes, it inspires me to do it more. Okay,
And
next one.
Ash, if you could excuse me for 2 minutes because I think there is some internet connection. So my
Sure.
online is not opening up. So I'm not able to read the next sentence.
No
I
worries.
need to fix that internet issue. I'll just do that. Meanwhile,
Yes.
you can discuss the next point.
Yes, yes,
Yeah.
yes,
Thank you
yes, yes,
so
please.
much.
Yes, please. And then, once we are done with that, we can probably ask Seema if she wants to add something because,
Yeah.
yeah, Seema, would you like to add something? I know the book is not with you right now, but from whatever we discussed, any observations, anything which you want to add, which you want to say, I'm sure, like from your experience at work, if you want to add something, please let me know and
Absolutely. Seema, Your yeah,
Yeah,
your inputs would be great for
really
us.
welcome. Yeah.
yeah, sure. Ashwini, very interesting points that you were sharing now, both of you from the book. Makes me think that I should also read it. But
Yes.
because I'm a big online reader, not a offline reader, but I want to change that habit.
It's okay. Even
So
I'm
I,
reading a Kindle.
Yeah, you can read it
yeah,
online as well because I am also reading it online.
And for
yeah.
Kindle, I got this book for 199 only.
It's called Rework,
Wow.
no, you said?
Rework. Yeah.
And the author is?
There are two authors, so
Two authors, yeah.
I'm going to read their names. Jason Fried and David Heinemeier Hansen. They are the two authors
Okay,
of this book.
Jason and okay,
Yes.
David.
It's a beautiful book, yaar. Like, आपको बहुत
Yeah,
पसंद
yeah.
आएगा, I'm sure.
The
Okay.
point which I could relate to
Yeah,
and I have to work on it is that you have to live the brand that you work
absolutely.
for.
Absolutely.
So I think
Absolutely.
that's got a very, very deep meaning and it's got a very large, implementation. It's not just like we normally we perceive brand as अच्छा social media पे डाल दिया,
Hmm.
collaterals बना दिया, website बना दिया, वो कर दिया, so that's my brand. But
Correct.
unfortunately, it's beyond that, which most people won't gather because
Which,
everybody is so hooked on to that digital drama that
yes.
they don't see beyond that. But what you said has a lot of meaning that you have to live your brand and live your brand meaning like the one example I can tell about you, Ashwini, because I have spent a lot of time as a student, so I can definitely say that. And so I've seen how you keep that energy of your brand. You're not like you don't just speak about energy and things and how to change it. You live that energy. And at least for me as a student, your presence makes more of an impact than what you teach. Of course, what you teach stays, but your
The energy.
presence brings that transformation in people, is my feeling. And your
I'm
presence
honored.
is what you work upon. It doesn't come just like that. Like you have to
Truly honored.
really, really work on yourself. Only then you can have that kind of presence. Only then you can influence others.
Walking
Like
the
you can,
talk.
yeah, yeah. So I'm sure you invest a lot of time on yourself. Otherwise,
Yes.
you
Yes,
can't
absolutely.
have have this influence on people. And that's what it is, living your brand.
Trust me, Seema and Neelam is also joined. A couple of weeks ago, I was going through a lot of ups and downs emotionally. I'm slowly getting back on track. So, I always, whatever I teach as a teacher, I apply the same thing to me because it's very
Oh,
important
yeah,
that,
absolutely.
yeah, you have to walk the talk. I can't tell
Yeah,
everyone that
otherwise, yeah, otherwise your words will not have an impact on
it
us,
will
no,
not.
Ashwini.
And yes, I have recently gone through it. I've recently, last 3 weeks ago, I have been going through a little bit of ups and downs, a lot of things happening. And I'm like, okay, what to do now? But then, I have to again and again say that, okay, I know I'm learning through love. Lessons which I'm learning are learning through love. And I think that was the time this book came in my life. And I think it's just phenomenal the way he's put concepts together, crisp and good. Just love it. So thank you for sharing that. And Seema, I'm so touched by what you said. So I'm really touched, and it is making me a little emotional too. But yes, thank you so much for receiving and acknowledging all of that. So let
Yeah,
us
yeah,
move,
Ashwini, thank you.
so let us move to, do you really
Next
need the
one.
next point? And This is something which I have experienced again. He says you need less than you think.
Exactly.
Trust
Because
me.
we in our mind we portray a picture, okay, this much we would require, but
Yeah,
actually to start we don't require that much. At least we can make a start and then we can assess again, and the resources will be there, but we just,
it will be
you know,
there.
it's a mental block in our mind that we require more than what, what we actually require.
Absolutely. And it is a shift in the mindset. Okay, it is all
Yeah.
here. And we might feel that we need a lot of things and we need this and we need that. But now see, all these points are connected. When he says take action, the point, 2 points before we spoke about taking action. Why don't most people take action? Because they're waiting for the perfect time. They're waiting for things to start getting perfect. They're waiting for things to improve. And only then they will start. But the truth is, so he says that, do you really need, maybe just 5,000 is enough. You may not need 5 lakh. You may not even need 50,000. You might just be okay with 5,000. Do you really need 6 months, or you can make it in two? Do you really need a big office, or you can share an office space, or maybe work from home? Do you really need a warehouse, or you can rent a small storage space? So he says that there are so many things available. And like, I always talk about this. Like, I tell people that with social media, like, because Sima, it's someone um who has been in marketing. Sima, one thing I can also say, that we are very lucky to be born in the age where we have social media. 30 years ago,
Really?
yes, 30 years ago, starting a business, how do we put it out? How do we put it out that I'm doing this work? Today, I just have to make one video and put out that, okay, this is what I'm doing. And at least 5 people will show up. Or, people are selling mangoes. One of my students recently wrote to me that I wanted to do something, मुझे समझ में नहीं आ रहा था क्या करने का, but I just realized that mangoes is something I can do because we already have a farm, and if I could start with that. And I was like, wow. And she was aware that she just put it on social
Wow.
media, and she
Yeah,
was sold out.
exactly.
So
Wow.
what I believe is, starting a business, or even putting yourself out, is quite
Easier.
easier than we, yeah. And
Yeah.
although, yes, we will reach at one place where we have those online bookings and those fancy appointments and all, but right now we can at least start with WhatsApp and Facebook and the social media, and that can put us at ease with a lot of things.
Yeah.
So that is what
Yes,
you you,
absolutely.
you need less than you think. Neelam, Seema, anything you want to add?
No, just Ashwini on
Actually,
the sorry, Neelam, go ahead.
no, no, Sina, you
Bolo
go
Nasim,
ahead.
bolo,
I'll
then
put
we'll
my
go with
point.
Neelam.
Yeah.
No, I was just saying, Ashwini, like, yes, it's become easy to put out a business, to start something. It's easy to be seen now. It's easy to become visible.
Yeah,
But I'll tell you what is the difficult part,
yeah.
which most people in the digital thing are missing, or eventually they realize, which is sustenance.
Yes,
It's
consistency.
very it's very easy to start out on this, grow your base, get people and all that. That's the easy part. I
So
can tell you
true.
that.
So true.
The difficult part is to sustain
True.
and make advocates for yourself. That's the tough part.
And that is the next point which we are coming to, and very well said, because I'm going to give you one very nice example in that. So, Sima, thank you for putting that point out. Neelam, you want to say something, or should we move to the next? Sorry, I'm in
No,
a
no,
rush
we should move. We
to
should
cover.
move because Sina has actually said my point. So it was my point as well, that
Okay,
we
fantastic.
really need to be consistent.
Consistent, which is the next point. So, but before that, he says start a business, not a startup, because startup is a very fancy word, and startup is a magical place where a lot of things are happening, people are investing, and there's a lot of fancy stuff going on. But the truth is, you have to have a business which is going to go in the long run, and you're going to show up for the business. And the next point, which both of you said, is you need a commitment strategy, not an exit strategy. So I'll tell you
Yeah.
something which I experienced, and something which Seema said, and I'm sure Neelam you will resonate. When I decide to do lives every day, I tell myself, okay, I'm going to do a live every day, or I'm going to put a video every day, or I'm going to do something to reach out to my folks every day. I do day one, I do day two. Day three kuch ho jata hai. Maybe you are very tired, or there is some personal stuff which has come up. Maybe there is work going on at your place, or your mate doesn't come up, or something comes up, or you have to probably go out and get something, and you come home late and tired, and you break that commitment that day. You do not do the life. So many people will say, commitment to toot gaya hai. Ye to bol rahi thi roz she will show up every day. What happened? I know people have asked that to me. What happened? You're going to show up every day. But then I say to myself, it's okay, Ashwini. One day you didn't do it.
Yeah.
Tomorrow start it again. The next day I show up. The next day I show up. Maybe the day after that I'm able to show up only for 15 minutes, but I still show up. Then maybe I have to travel. I don't get network at all. I can't show up. But the consistency is where you make a commitment that no matter what happens, no matter how many breaks you take, that, and I would totally agree with what you said, Seema, when you start, if you're not consistent, you're not going to stay.
Ashwini, on that note, consistent also doesn't mean killing yourself.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Absolutely.
So like you said, we give that commitment to ourselves. We take that, like kind of that thing. "Pran, okay, ye to karna hi hai." The first person to go on a guilt trip is ourselves.
Yes.
Forget others.
Exactly.
Yes. इसके लिए वो self talk करना पड़ता है फिर. It's okay, Ashwini. It's all right. You are human being. You get tired. It's all right. But आपने नहीं किया. Be that loving parent to yourself, who will say that it's
Yeah.
okay. Be that loving teacher you wanted as a child. Be that considerate boss which you feel you needed as an adult when you were breaking down, and that boss said, it's okay. Go home, take a break. एक दो दिन छुट्टी ले लो, come back. So I think we that all inner conversations will really help us in getting to that point where we are consistent but not burnt out.
Yeah.
Great.
Superb. Now here he talks about lease, long-term contracts, inventories, and meetings. Okay. So he says that have less mass, which means do not make permanent decisions. Now, this is the only book which is saying that, and I really love him for that. He says that do not look at a lot of long-term planning, a lot of, everything. Yeah, where you are rigid, you create mass. Less mass is where you're flexible and where you have short-term things to look at.
Situations are always, external situation is always changing. You really need to be flexible to meet up to those situations. So it is one of the key points of this chapter. And I always follow this because one day I plan my day like this, and second day the plan gets hampered. That doesn't mean that I don't have a plan B. I have a plan B. Even if I don't have a plan B, I'll do something instantly that would be my innovation or creativity or demand of the situation. So why should I plan too much? Why should I take too much of mass on me?
Totally. And too much of mass is what destroys a lot of people. So, a lot of people often say that, okay, आपको ये करना है, आपको ये compliance करना है, आपको वो करना है. My answer is first focus on getting the revenue. Once you know the revenue is coming up, then go into all those hi-fi things. Start with revenue, क्योंकि अगर revenue नहीं होगा तो आप बहुत सारी चीजें करोगे. बहुत सारा.
Get the plan.
Where is the money? If you're doing a business, where is the money? Is it generating money? If you're not generating money, maybe you have to try something else. You have to keep trying until you are generating money. Once you start generating money, then you can also look further and look at more things, look at, adding more things. Like, I'm not going to automate my website till the time I feel I am at a level where I cannot manage. Okay, this is my advice to, I don't know if there are new entrepreneurs who are watching, this is my advice. I will not put extra money into automating something until the time I can do it. Okay, when it is not possible at all, possible ही नहीं है, then and it's always a return on money. It is always like, okay, if I'm adding this money, I'm investing this money, what am I getting back? Okay, that is always my theory. And if that is not happening, return on investment is very important. See, we many times we say money is not important to me.
Never
Right?
say
But
that.
never say that, yes. Because then don't do a business. Then don't say you're an entrepreneur. Then you can run a charitable trust and all of that. That's good. Of course, you have to strike that balance at all levels, and I think balance is the key. That's what this book talks about. Okay, we are going to have only 6 minutes remaining, I think, but
Yeah,
nonetheless, do you want to move to the progress wala thing, or do we need to do that next time? We have a lot to cover.
we can start with
We can
progress.
start, right? So let us start with the next chapter, which is progress, which says that less is a good
Yeah.
thing. Okay, less is good. You don't need a big office, 100 employees, lot of stuff.
Fancy
No,
setup.
fancy setup nahi. I'm happy operating from home, and I think we are happy operating from online work as well, which keeps it very
Yeah,
simple. Okay,
yeah.
and so they say that The Price is Right, the longest running game show in history, is also a great example of creativity born from embracing constraints. Okay, so here they give an example of Southwest, where they only fly a Boeing 737, and as a result every Southwest pilot, flight attendant and ground crew member can work any flight, plus all Southwest parts fit all the planes. That means lower costs and business that's easier to run. They make it easy on. So I tell people, be easy. All of life comes to me with ease, joy and glory. Be as easy as
Glory.
possible. Don't complicate life. Have a small team, have a small set of people, and make sure that you just create in that.
Absolutely, absolutely. So moving ahead is, you are better off with a kick-ass half than a whole-ass whole.
A little a little rude language for anyone, but well, let's take what he's trying to say. That he's saying that
They say build half a product, not a half assist product. Your product can be, your product can be half, but you should know
quality.
what you are selling, what you are making, right?
Wonderfully put. And the next thing he says is start, which means start at Epic Center. Start,
Yeah,
go to the base of it, go at the Epic Center and say, if I took this away, what would I am selling still exist? Okay, so he gives an example of hot dog, जिसका वो जो main patty रहता है उसके अंदर, that has to be there. Otherwise, it's not going to sell. You might have very good toppings, very
exactly.
good mustard sauce, but the key is what is needed, and figure out
When the
what.
key element is missing, then there's no point, right?
Yes, totally. Basics.
Okay, ignore the details early on. So, don't plan too much. Don't think that, okay, this, you know, nitty-gritties of the product or the service that you are doing. You should
Yeah.
have a good idea of the product, but that doesn't mean that you should know everything about the product. And
Yes.
it applies to your corporate job as well. When
Absolutely.
we are doing
Absolutely.
something, we are working on a project, that doesn't mean that, everything should come to us in advance and we should document everything and plan accordingly. It will not work. We should have a broad
Absolutely.
idea, we should understand what we are doing, and then we can tweak it.
Totally. Totally. Next is decisions are progress, where he says that making the call or taking the decision actually is progress, which means decide on it, commit to it. That is progress. Don't look at anything else, but that is where we begin, because the longer something will take to launch, the less likely it's going to happen. Because and I have done this a lot of times. I've sat on ideas and then I'm like, nothing doing, chalo karna hai. बस करना है, कैसे भी वो करना है. And I think that's what makes us
और
so.
वो हो जाता है
वो हो
और
जाता
वो
है.
हो जाता है
Be a curator, okay, which means just curate things and create it. And that's what he actually talks about.
Yeah.
Focus on what won't change. So he says a lot of company focus on the next big thing, and they latch on, okay, this is new, ye aajkal naya hai, ye trending hai. Yeah, I know, it's nice to know, and it's good to understand that as well. But the core of your business should be about, if things don't go well, if everything just around you changes, is your business still sustainable? And that is what is very
Absolutely.
important. The core of your business should be built around things that won't change, things that people are going to want today and 10 years from now, and things that they should invest in. Gear doesn't matter. Here he says that, okay, I think Seema got logged off. There is she again.
Yeah.
So in business, too many people obsess over tools, software, tricks, scaling issues, fancy office, lavish furniture, and other frivolities. However, it's more important that instead of spending on all those fancy things, look at what is the core, what is the core essence. Next point I'm going to just say, and I think we have still 3 minutes to go probably, or is it? So he says that sell your byproducts, which means you just can't make one thing. Keep something in addition to what you're doing. Whatever is a byproduct, look at it, and because that will also help you create more, which means
Yes.
write books, create podcasts, create content, do more of that. And I think that will really help you.